Hi, I'm Josh Curving, and welcome to another Death Battle prediction video. But first, Nathan Drake versus Lara Croft. For the season opener especially, this was a really good one. I was definitely hoping that we weren't going to get another, like, Bayonetta versus Dante or something like that. Pretty much everything was right on point. They didn't really go into a lot of, like, the crazy superhuman feats, but I am very happy that they finally acknowledged that characters who are portrayed to be more or less peak human are, like, they acknowledged, yeah, these people are superhuman as shit. So that's definitely a step in the right direction for them. The animation itself was really good. At times, especially in the ruins, some of the models looked a little bit janky, especially Nathan Drake's hair during some parts. And some of the motions kind of seemed unnatural, especially during the talking. But hey, we're not there to see talking, we're here to see murder, and there was plenty of the murder. Some of the other things that people have said negatively about the fight is, one, it didn't really establish well enough that the helicopter was there before it became prominent. So a lot of people are just like, oh, where did that come from? That shouldn't have happened. And just like, I guess people get bothered by it when that happens. But one, it didn't really affect the fight in any meaningful way. Two, it was mostly just so that they could throw in the whole Lara Croft pickaxe making a helicopter explode thing. And the other thing that a lot of people have issue with is the death itself. I personally, when I first saw it, I didn't like it because it was a bit too far removed from Lara herself. She made the helicopter explode, yes, but it was just too coincidental that he lands and then the helicopter blade lands right on him. It's like on the same level as like when Quicksilver was just tossed onto a sword of a statue. Like that was just a really disappointing finisher. As I started to kind of look into things though, like I did kind of learn to accept that kill a bit more. It was fine, and they more or less could have simply had it end with the helicopter exploding even, but they tend to like a more bloody finisher, and that would have just been boom, he's vaporized. So it's fine. I'm okay with it. I can see what a lot of people would have issue with though. So for next time, we have Scrooge McDuck versus Shovel Knight. At first I was like really excited to see Scrooge McDuck because I know that he has like a ton of crazy awesome feats. The more I've looked into this one though is like I'm not too keen on it because both of these people probably have better opponents. So I'm just kind of on the fence still about it. So I've kind of put it off making the video. Though the winner has become pretty clear, if anything. So Scrooge McDuck, some of his best feats are surviving atmospheric re-entry, running from I think it was California to the Arctic, but the time frame is incredibly unknown because it was a comic panel. And so he comes out to being around subrelativistic speeds with, I think, city block level durability from the re-entry feat. This could be higher because one of the big things is that Scrooge McDuck is one of the oldest characters they've used in Death Battle. He has comics upon TV shows, upon comics, upon movies, upon everything else, even a game or two, and it's easy to miss something, and it's super easy if Death Battle finds something that would really change the outcome. Like, that's one of the things with really old characters, is that people search really ravenously because they know there could be something. Whereas with Shovel Knight, there's only 1-2-ish games. He's not even the main character of the second game, and he's not the main character of the third game that's coming out. But in that game, he actually gets more than enough than he needs to win. One of the feats involved with the tower collapsing ends up being like a city-level feat, which dwarfs pretty much any of Scrooge's feats, as well as the fact that he reacts to the Black Knight TKing meteors, and like someone did the calculations on it with being like the lowest low ball that they could give for it, with him telekinetically getting like the closest that meteors could be, and it still completely blows Scrooge's feet out of the water with the fact that Shovel Knight can dodge these. Also, the kinetic energy behind these should be ridiculous, so I think that's even higher anyway. But again, with the low balls, Scrooge McDuck is completely dwarfed in stats. But, like with always, we have to think about how Death Battle approaches things and kind of take out most calculations. So, just in terms of gear, what do we have? Well, Scrooge is definitely going to be given the anti-inertia gun, which basically nullifies physical attacks. You'd be thinking that is a really, really good advantage. It is, but Shovel Knight has plenty of ways around that. One is the phase locket, which basically makes him intangible, still capable of hitting things. So that would more or less make it so that the anti-inertia ray is never going to hit him to begin with. But even if he does hit him, he still has the one ultimate trump card in this entire fight. Like, Scrooge has no counter for this, except one, and it will be very bullshit if they use it. So there's the alchemy coin, which is literally Shovel Knight tosses this coin, and if Scrooge touches it at all, he is turned to gold. Scrooge does not have any transmutation resistance feats. Every time that he has had transmutation done on him, it is considered a major problem. The only method that they could possibly bullshit their way out of that is a single comic item that he had called the Gloves of Midas, where literally at the end of the comic he gives it up and the gloves are destroyed. There is no reason he should have that as standard equipment in this fight. Other than that, one of the things that they might give Scrooge is a universal solvent umbrella, which was capable of atomizing tons of shit, and realistically that's one of the most easily seen ways that Scrooge could win if they ignore a lot of stats. But again, the phase locket completely ignores it. Shovel Knight has the mobility advantage in spades with both the Infinidagger, which I really hope they make Game Grumps references with this one, and the phase locket just goes right through without caring. Honestly, there's really not too much. They don't even really need to give Shovel Knight his Ichors, which fully heal him and his magic, or get him more money, which he won't realistically have for a death battle. Or the last one, I think it makes it makes him invincible for a length of time, which, the way Death Battle wanks the shit out of invincibility stuff, there's no reason that they could really give it to Scrooge, but I almost feel like they're going to. Because if they go with anti-inertia gun and universal solvent and Gloves of Midas wank, then they're basically saying, oh hey, he can't use magical means to kill him, he can't use physical means to kill him, it's just a matter of time before he gets him with the universal solvent. I can see that happening, and it would be extremely bullshit, and a lot of people would get really, really mad at that, because, though it's hilarious because most of the community has already resigned themselves to this fight going in Scrooge's favor, when it realistically shouldn't, because, I mean, come on, DuckTales nostalgia is very hard to bypass. I can see it happening. I can definitely understand that there is a good chance they're going to take it in that direction, but I can remain hopeful and naive to the end. Beyond that, I don't have too much to say. The sprites will mesh fairly well because Shovel Knight was made with those kind of old-timey sprites in mind, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it, because neither of the, especially with Scrooge, it's going to be hard to come up with a lot of a moveset for him, because he honestly hasn't had too many on-screen fights. Very few even, and if they give him a lot of extra stuff like the money bin, it's going to be very weird to see. But anyway, yeah, I will see you guys after the next one. Hopefully we get something we can really sink our teeth into, and see you then.